It's the NFL on EA Sports. And coming up, it'll be no holds barred between AFC North rivals. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. All that and more coming up next.
We are just a stone's throw from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it is rocking and rolling here at Huntington Bank Field in downtown Cleveland. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. This is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes. Because you've got quarterbacks here, yes, they can throw the football, but they can also run it very well, too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
Here's the veteran Dustin Hopkins ready for the start, and we are underway now from Huntington Bank Field. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Here comes the Ravens on offense, and the man in charge from Louisville, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. Well, so much for that possession.
Yeah, I think he tried to do a little too much there, partner. He tried to keep it himself. Ended up getting buried in the backfield, and that brings up 4th down.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Back deep, James Prochet. Taken in at the 22. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson.
And he makes it so difficult for all defenses because when he's got the ball, it's hard to say when a play is truly over because he can create from any spot on the field and in any situation, even when it appears that he's contained. When he's running your offense, a big play could arrive from any possible spot.
To throw is Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. Elijah Moore, the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Watson. Into the hands of Cedric Tillman. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 6, but not enough, as he'll be forced to punt on their first drive of the game.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Second down, they go again with Henry. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 9 here. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Juan Thornhill. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. They'll have very good starting field position here after the turnover as they search for the first points of the ball game. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. After the interception, here's Watson. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. Here's Watson. That's out to Chubb, complete. And Chubb going to push forward and pick up a Browns first down as he takes it down to the 20-yard line.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
The handoff to Ford up the middle. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Again, they turn to Ford. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
He finds his man, complete. It's Ford. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down. No score after 1 on EA Sports. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. And the first play will be a field goal try. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. Hopkins' kick is good, and the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. And able to get this out to the 25. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has really. They come up here now 1st down. They begin with Henry. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Here's Jackson to throw. A check down here for Henry. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10. Just shy of the 30. First carry for Nick Chubb. Stays on his feet to about the 33-yard line.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd down and 6 now. Out of the gun, Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that will bring up 3rd and 1.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. This is Ford. And he'll be taken down at about the 45.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They run with Ford, and he is not going to go anywhere. They're going to get to him behind the line, and that is going to get us to the 2-minute warning. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Now it's Watson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On 4th down, on is Corey Bajorquez to punt. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. In motion, Aguilar. Throwing is Jackson. Flush to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Third and 20. Jackson, option right. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Out now is the punter, Jordan Stout. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short, so that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Watson now to throw. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. That is the big fella, Nnamdi Madubuike, forcing his way in. He comes up with a sack. Boy, every time I see speed like that off the edge, Charles, I just don't know how these offensive linemen do it. I would think that they would get called for holding every play, and maybe they should have been called for holding on that one.
Yeah, maybe not just holding, but sometimes you end up setting back in the offensive backfield a little bit farther to try and help you with the edge. That's a penalty as well. Sometimes you overset, they'll come inside of you. That's what speed does. It disrupts an offense, and right now, you've got to pay attention to this edge rusher on every single down.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. From the gun on third, Watson. And that one too wide and incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's fourth down.
That's well done defensively. They get the pressure they needed on third down. All the receivers are locked up tight, and they force that quarterback to just throw it away.
On fourth down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return, and control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. So we've reached halftime. All we have to show for the first half, a lone field goal. 3-0 our score. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This is a very level first half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Browns offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Going for the deep ball. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Trenton Simpson there in coverage.
Well, you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
The Browns send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Henry. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Through the middle of the field as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
A first down carry for Henry. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Henry up the middle. Yeah, he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Here's Jackson. A slant route caught by Bateman. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's 1st and goal. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
3rd and goal, Jackson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. The Browns D locked in on 3rd down, brings up 4th.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. Tucker's kick is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no wind. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And Charles, we've seen almost 3 full quarters now, and neither offense can really get it going. Neither has hit the end zone, and neither side seemingly can make that big play.
But the game hasn't been devoid of action because these two defenses, they've taken over and they've slugged it out. But I think you're exactly right. We're at that stage of the game now where one of these offenses, if they make a big play, that could be the difference.
And we're back now here in Cleveland. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. They'll come up 2nd and 7. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
He had to fight for every yard on that run. Shook himself free of a tackle and kept fighting, even with the rest of the defense closing in on him. That's the kind of effort you'll take every single time.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3. They run it again with Chubb. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the 4th quarter. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. They'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's 2nd down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
They go play action now. Jackson throwing out left and finding Likely. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Play action. It's Jackson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Well, that's where this Cleveland crowd, the dog pound in particular, make it difficult on opposing offenses. It looked like they might have had troubles communicating at the line, and it leads to the incompletion. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. With the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. Oh, a solid stiff arm and some open field. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
On the ground, it's Ford. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. Following the penalty, Chubb. And some room to run now. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Ford. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a score to break this tie. They go up the middle with Chubb. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. They swallowed him up. They'll come to the line now on a 3rd and 6. And again, it's Chubb. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. Hopkins' kick is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Well, we still wait on the first touchdown of the game, but a second field goal now makes it a 6-3 score.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would call this the definition of winning ugly. To me, this is gorgeous. I'm a defender, right? I love these kind of games. The tension is high. Who's going to make the play to win it? And right now, that field goal may be the advantage they need.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Jackson and the Ravens, here they come. Down 6-3, a minute 25 to play. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. Jackson. That's complete to Kohler. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. Throwing. Jackson. Connecting with Andrews. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Yet again, targeting and finding Mark Andrews. And he is across midfield from 149 to the other 49, a gain of just 2. Second down, 8 yards to go. Jackson to throw. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 37.
Hey, you got your first down. Get up to the line of scrimmage and spike it.
Here's first down. Jackson. He'll find Bateman once more. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds, and now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. Now Watson. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end, going to overtime, because neither one got an advantage today.
So it's the Browns who are going to get possession first here in overtime as the kick's away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's got Njoku over the middle. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Opening drive of overtime. Both teams will get a possession, barring a defensive score. Here's 2nd down. They'll try the left side. It's Ford, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting one more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
Hoping to keep this OT drive alive. Now they face a 3rd and 2. The handoff to Ford up the middle. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A give running right is Chubb. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Watson. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Brandon Stevens. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. What a big-time interception that is here on the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, they're already knocking on the door with a short field. Remember, all they need is 3 points to win this game.
And that thinking just can't limit them on offense. The playbook should still be wide open. Get a first down, maybe 2. Do it safely. Nice throws that your quarterback can make. Nice runs that your running backs like. But make sure you get yourself into position and let your kicker have at it.
Henry out of the pistol. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 9. Off the option, here's Henry. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Now what can Jackson do here in overtime? Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
Inside handoff, Henry. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now Jackson. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face. Good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
Running from the gun with Henry. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. And I know you with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
So it's up now to one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, Justin Tucker. And now the Browns are going to take another timeout. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And joy will reign in the Inner Harbor as the Ravens have won it.
Well, obviously, Charles, this was by no means an offensive track meet. I mean, the defenses were the story in this ball game. But, hey, they got enough points to get the job done. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
You're absolutely right about that, partner. In such a low-scoring game, it completely changes everything you had planned to do out there. Fortunately for them, they got just enough scoring to bring home the win. And in this type of a game, to play their defense, that became one of their biggest keys.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say good night from Cleveland.